It's a field of 11 going around as we take you back to Greg Miles.
Moving up here, Chris, for the second big jumps race of the day. This is a race that 3 times in the 1990s has seen the winner here go on to win the Grand National Steeplechase at Flemington. In 91, Believable, 92, Donny's Chance, and in 98, Burrawee Lord took out the big double. And Knock It Off has gone forward. Here's Around the Neck about to come in. The favourite, Melos, awaiting his turn. Big double in a chance of being picked up by Jim Houlihan and Craig Durden, with Melos, who's only had the 1 steeplechase start, for a victory. Most of them in now. 3,800 metres. They jump 16 fences on their journey. It's a testing course. They start up on top of the hill at the back of the track. The double up on top of that rise is the first 2 fences they meet. They come down for a double down the side, 5 in the lane, then they head out of the straight and back up the hill again. There's a double at the foot of the rise. They complete a circuit, and then come the last 5 fences. The double on top of the hill, 2 down the side, then they come back to the course proper for 1 final fence, the 16th fence, which is near the 350 metre mark. So it's a great test. It's a wonderful steeplechase track, and this is the first of the big steeplechase races to be run this season. Won last year by Burrawee Lord. He beat Bagheera and Parlez-Vous. Burrawee Lord went on to win the Grand National, of course. He was a wonderful, dashing front runner, trained by David Brodoke. He's had just a minor setback, which meant that David had to put him in the paddock for this winter, but he's promised that we'll see him again next year. There's Gigabar in the black colours, Yo-Yo Joe in the purple. Naruma Guy's won weaker races at Warrnambool at his last couple, but he'll appreciate a drop in weights today. It's him in the famous coal diesel colours. Now, Around the Neck is proving a bit of a handful as he doesn't want to move up into the gates. Lake Thor in the interim has gone along. And also Palace Symphony. He was the champion fencer of 97. Palace Symphony just seems to be out of form at the moment. But his last start was a little hint that there was something there, a little inkling that the embers are still ready to burst into flame. Now, they're all in the gates with 2 exceptions. Kells Tower the Grey, who has the blinkers off today. He's a 100 to 1 chance. And Around the Neck, who is proving most obstinate over at the start. He's got to move in pretty soon into gate 1, or he might be in some strife. Kells Tower in the meantime is coming up, and Around the Neck, well, he said, I've had my fun and games for the day. I'll just walk in comfortably, thank you. He's ready. 3,800 metres for the Australian steeplechase. 16 fences on their journey. Constable back aboard now, and the field is ready. It's a big test. All clears through. Racing in the Australian steeplechase. Melos, if anything, a little slow to move. Yo-Yo Joe, Around the Neck, Gigabar, a prominent early with Kells Tower and Palace Symphony as they meet the first of 16 fences now. And Kells Tower, the leader from Palace Symphony, Around the Neck third. Moving up on the outside, Naruma Guy with Gigabar, 2 or 3 lengths to Wild Trista, followed then by Knock It Off. Over on the rails is Melos, trailed by Lake Thor, Yo-Yo Joe, and Summer Bay has moved up on the outside of Yo-Yo Joe as the field of 11 comes down the side the first time. And the old grey Kells Tower leads. Naruma Guy is moving up about a neck away. A couple of lengths away is Palace Symphony in third, and they're followed by Gigabar racing fourth outside of Around the Neck. 1.5 to Knock It Off, trailed by Summer Bay, Lake Thor, Wild Trista. Melos to the tail there in company with Yo-Yo Joe. Here's the double down the side of the course in the first circuit now. Naruma Guy steadily moving up on the outside to take the lead from Kells Tower. Gigabar is right there third, and then Knock It Off, who's moved up wider out on the course as they go to this next fence. Next is Palace Symphony, Around the Neck and Yo-Yo Joe together. Summer Bay outside them, and the last trio, Wild Trista on the inside from Lake Thor and Melos. but they're very tightly bunched, and they come down the lane now for the 5 fences down the steeplechase lane. Kells Tower and Naruma Guy are the 2 leaders here. A very bunched field though. Palace Symphony just behind them, with Gegabar wide out around the neck. Knock It Off is the widest runner. Just behind those horses, Yo-Yo Joe, Summer Bay, Lake Thor and Melos is last, but there'd only be 6 or 7 lengths covering the field as they go to the 3rd fence in the lane. The next one coming up, and it's Naruma Guy on the inside. He had to be ridden into it. He nearly stopped it. He came out and hampered Gegabar, who got unbalanced temporarily there, and it's Naruma Guy coming down towards the 9th fence in the race. He's going to be the leader. Over it in front of Gegabar second, around the neck over on the inside of Knock It Off share next placing, and they're followed by Summer Bay, Palace Symphony between horses, Wild Trista on the rail. Next is Melos back there with Kells Tower, who's got shuffled back to the tail with Yo-Yo Joe, and Lake Thor's now last of all, or second last, as Kells Tower turns out of the straight 2 lengths behind him. Naruma Guy the leader. They've been hacking early though, and they're about to climb into the back straight for the run up the hill, and it's Naruma Guy now by a length and a half, Gegabar and around the neck together. On their outside, improving Knock It Off from Summer Bay and Palace Symphony, and a half length away to Wild Trista. One further back in the field is Melos, who's starting his run now as they commence to run up the hill, followed by Yo-Yo Joe, Lake Thor and Kells Towers last of all. The double at the foot of the rise, and Naruma Guy first over it, lands by a length around the neck, who's been prominent all the way. Gegabar on the outside at the second of the double, leapt it well from Melos, who's gone up to 4th or 5th with Palace Symphony and Wild Trista on the rail. He's been saving ground on it. 2 lengths to Summer Bay. Lake Thor, Yo-Yo Joe, Knock It Off has dropped out, and Kells Towers last of all. 1400 to go. They've done a circuit, and here's the double coming up on top of the hill again. Naruma Guy leads. He's 2 lengths in front. Over it in front of Melos, who's jumped through the pack to be up there with the 2nd and 3rd placing. Palace Symphony and around the neck on his outside over that fence. Gegabar is next as they commence to run down the hill now, and they've got 3 to jump. About 1,000 or a little more to go. Naruma Guy in front of Palace Symphony, and around the neck on the outside. 1 to Gegabar 4th, and then Melos on the inside. Lake Thor's improving. 2 lengths to Summer Bay, then Wild Trista and Yo-Yo Joe with a long break in the field of the other 2 who are out of the race. They came down towards the 800 metre mark now, and there's 3 fences to go. A double coming up, and around the neck is getting to the lead. Tackling him is Gegabar. Yo-Yo Joe on the outside is putting himself in the picture with Lake Thor. Then Naruma Guy. Melos back on the inside with some work to do, coming towards the second last one now, and around the neck has jumped it well. Melos didn't handle it well. Around the neck from Gegabar. Lake Thor is still coming home, and Naruma Guy is getting his second win down on the inside as they swing around the turn into the straight now with 1 to jump, and it's Lake Thor in the middle going through to take the lead with around the neck on his outside, clear of Naruma Guy, and then a gap to Gegabar. Here's the last one now, and around the neck's jumped at about a half length on Lake Thor. Oh, one's fallen there, Yo-Yo Joe. It's around the neck from Lake Thor, Naruma Guy and Gegabar. Lake Thor won't give in. Around the neck with a head advantage. It's another great finish. Around the neck and Lake Thor. Who can stay the better? Lake Thor's finishing at a shade the better. Around the neck kicks again, but Lake Thor, the Tasmanian, breaks his Australian maiden and winning it by a neck. Around the neck is second, and third is about 5 lengths away, Naruma Guy. From Gegabar, Summer Bay, Wild Trista, and then Palace Symphony. Next to finish is Melos. And then there's about a furlong further back to Knock It Off with Kells Tower behind him. Way over at the 1600 metres too, and Tarbob began well. Anxiety Attack, something amiss early, dropped out to be last. The rider seemed to be in some discomfort there, settling 3 lengths behind them. Saboom, Knightly Sword, Sailor's Courage away quickly, as so was Napier Street, Cotton on Flyer, with Stormy Jim over on the outside. Tarbob restraining, didn't like it, got his head up, and down the back Knightly Sword settled in front by a length and a half. It's Knightly Sword, he'll be hard to run down. Second, Stormy Jim moving up, Go With The Flow on the outside to be prominent, followed by Sir Boom getting lovely cover. 4th on the inside from Napier Street. 1 Sailor's Courage, Mighty Quinn on the outside of the Bartered Bride. Anxiety Attack is now moving up better than midfield, but caught 4 wide, 1,000 to go. A length to Cotton on Flyer, Video Fan. Itiati on his outside, followed by Sinclair, and second last is Sunny Glow, and 2 to Tarbob. Go With The Flow as a new leader as they commence to run off the back straight. He's a length and a half in front. Stormy Jim. 1 to Knightly Sword. Sir Boom off the rails is now a neck away. 4th the outside. 1.5 to Napier Street. 5th out, 3 deep from the Bartered Bride. Sailor's Courage. Anxiety Attack is next. Then the grey Mighty Quinn, Itiati, Cotton on Fly, Video Fan, Sunny Glow, Sinclair, and 3 to Tarbob as they come around the home turn in the Samson. Go with the flow on the rails. Tackled by Stormy Jim as soon as they enter the straight. 2 or 3 lengths to Sir Boom. Nightly Sword, Cotton on Flyers coming home along the rails. And then came the Bartered Bride, followed by Sinclair. They get to the 200 metres now. And Stormy Jim in front. Cotton on Flyer against the fences, coming home strongly. They're clear of the Bartered Bride, Nightly Sword and Sir Boom. It's now Stormy Jim in front. He holds Cotton on Flyer, who can't go on. Stormy Jim comes clear, in fact, and Stormy Jim wins it. Nightly Sword got up for second. Either the Bartered Bride wide out, Cotton on Flyer, the fence, and Sir Boom. A photo for the miners. They were clear then of Mighty Quinn. Anxiety Attack didn't run a bad race under the circumstances, followed in by Sunny Glow, and then Go with the Flow, Sailor's Carriage, Video Fan, Tarbob, Sinclair, and towards the end, Idiati and Napier Street. Stormy Jim has won again. He was Order and Mazaire along with Fleischer are the first to show out, and then came Castella and Little Miss Echo, and next is Impulsive over on the rails. Settling fully, and Fleischer takes it up 3/4 Chow Baby. Mazaire the outside, going on with it now. 2 lengths Chippy's Daughter the outside of Castella. Another 2 lengths further back, Impulsive on the rail. Little Miss Echo around her, and Zakynthos Good on the blue colours is caught out wide. To Iguazu, and then Paris next. Spring Hill Express, and last of all is Robley Lass. Mazaire took the lead before they came off the back straight near the 800, and she leads by 2 Fleischer, a length and a half Chow Baby. 1 to Castella, 4th on the inside, and then Chippy's Daughter, 2 Impulsive, Little Miss Echo. 1 Zakynthos Girl, Iguazu, followed by Paris next, Spring Hill Express next to last, and 2 lengths to Robley Lass. At the 600 nearing the turn, Mazaire about a half to Fleischer, and Chow Baby right there ready to pounce, coming out 3 wide. Chippy's Daughter gets onto her back and comes home well, followed by Castella, Impulsive. Iguazu in the hot pink getting to the outside, running about 7th as a corner. It's Fleischer, Mazaire, the leaders from Castella back on the inside. 2 to Chow Baby, called on for the run. Then came Chippy's Daughter and a gap to Iguazu. Mazaire again in front, nearing the 200. She's out by 2. Chow Baby's trying hard and digging deep. She's coming home the better. Chow Baby getting to Mazaire. There's 100 to go. Chow Baby answers the whip from Luke Nolan, draws clear, and Chow Baby, too classy, wins it by 2 Mazaire. Chippy's Daughter about 3 or 4 away third, in front of Castella and then Fleischer. Next, Impulsive, Iguazu, Spring Hill Express, trailed by Zakynthos Girl, Robley Lass. Second last was Little Miss Echo, and Paris next last of all.
Scorpion and Call Me Buckers last. 500 to go. Gay Reality the leader. Verse Time second. Swirler third. Then Scarlet Treese inside of King Cal, followed by Tango Music. Further back, French Raven. French Crest went Bush. Grand Express, he's a mile back, turning for home. In the straight, Gay Reality the leader. Verse Time and Swirler on the outside. King Cal into the clear, followed by Tango Music, and wider out Frisky Star. And Huge Ear is coming with a big run. He's wide out off the track, and he already might have them. Huge Ear and King Cal, with Huge Ear dashing to the lead. Then King Cal, Frisky Star, but Huge Ear broke away, and Huge Ear went home to win from a 3-way photo between Frisky Star, King Cal and French Raven. The next home in the race behind those came Briar's Army, then Hot Scorpion, followed by Gay Reality, Swirler, Tango Music, Verse Time. Then came French Crest, Pathology. Grand Express has beaten 2 in, and they are Scarlet Treese and Call Me Buck. Now, that was the horse I saw at Ipswich. Don't ask me whether he was when he got to Eagle Farm the other day.
Nope. Set for the anniversary. Racing at the 1200, My Star dropped out, and Aussie Dapper settled second last. Final Tempo was the first to bounce out. The grey leads the Tasmanian All Sand going up to second in the green colours. Final Way settles down a length off those third, and then on the straight fourth on the rail from Bay Shunk to Southlands. About a half length, another excuse, middle of the field on the rail to Ruling Regent, and they're followed then by Hot Touch. A length behind it, Bluestone, Aussie Dapper and My Stars last as they came off the back. And here All Sand shot to the lead and led by 3 lengths to Final Tempo, 2 lengths to Final Way. On the straight, on the fence in 4th placing, and Beijunk a neck behind it. 2 lengths further back, Southlands outside, another excuse. Then came Hot Touch, Ruling Regent, Aussie Dapper, Bluestone, and My Star as they corner. They've run along now, and it's All Sand, a narrow leader. Final Tempo moved up quickly on the outside to have a go at him, but the Tassie horse railed beautifully and leads by 2 lengths. All Sand now from Final Tempo. On the straight against the rail, Final Way under the whip, and then Beijunk. Now Final Tempo starts to move up at the 200 to go to the lead from All Sand. It's Final Tempo from All Sand on the straight, starting to lift. Final Tempo in front. He's just the leader. He's tied. All Sand kicks back. All Sand regains the lead, and All Sand's got up and won it from Final Tempo, who wilted on his run on the straight third. And behind those were Final Way, Bayshunk, and then Southlands. A gap behind those horses to Ruling Regent and Aussie Dapper, and they were trailed by My Star, who's finished back there with another excuse, trailed in by Hot Touch, and last to finish was Bluestone.
Off and racing now, and Vikings from the outside was the first to go, and Papal began quickly. Nature's Fury and Chockwee and Stumpy Jester going quickly. Chomper straight into a good spot on the inside of Madame Chimois, followed by Impeachable. Lord Alanon's going to settle midfield from the wreck. Now Hirschberg's getting back on the fence from Favour the Brave, followed by Nell's Treasure. I Realise can't go the speed from Longu, and last of all My Kariska. Going up to the first corner at the 900 metres mark, and Stumpy Jester led from Papal second. Nature's Fury going up to make a line of 3, and Chockwee is fourth, and Chumba is fifth on the inside of Madame Chinois. They're going hard. Vikings trapped out 3 deep, circling on the outside. Impeachable. Lord Alanon's trying to improve in between runners. The wreck with that bunch. Over on the inside, Hirschberg will need a touch of luck from Favour the Brave. I Realise about to get to the outside from Nell's Treasure, followed by Longu and My McCriska. Around the turn, Papal near the inside, and Nature's Fury led. Chockwee third, Vikings to the outside. Then Madame Chinois. Here comes I Realise in the wreck, and Lord Alanon's looking for a run. 300 metres to go, and I Realise sprinted very quickly on the outside. Chockwee's going through in the middle, followed by Vikings in the wreck, but I Realise sprinted to the lead with 100 metres left to go, is careering away. Chockwee in second spot from Vikings in the wreck, but I Realise bolted in the QWBS final. Chockwee second, tight for third, Vikings in the wreck together. Then Lord Alanon. The next time in the race came Hirschberg, followed then by Nature's Fury. The next time in the race, Chumba, followed by Papal. Then came Impeachable, followed by Lungu, Madame Chinois, My McCriska, Favour the Brave, Stumpy Jester, and last time was Nell's Treasure.
So after the running of race 7,
Joshua's Pride began well with Our Missouri from outside gates. Gull Valley is going to go forward and get them across the field pretty well as they settle down now. And going through too is Atomic Man to be one of the leaders as they came down past the 800 metre mark. And also showing some pace, Pearl Peru, as they settle down with Windigo. Now they're coming up towards the home bend, and Gull Valley is a clear leader. Gull Valley around the home turn in front from Masked Dancer getting through along the inside. On its outside is Windigo as they corner, and they're followed by Our Missouri as they enter the straight now and go past the 400 metre mark. Blue Music is back behind them. Our Missouri is struggling. It's Windigo and Masked Dancer on the rail, leading Gull Valley, Satirical Miss, Blue Music and Garçon Bleu with 100 metres to go now. Gull Valley the outside. Satirical Miss is diving through along the rail. Masked Dancer is still there. Satirical Miss is coming home very fast. Gull Valley in front. Satirical Miss, Garçon Bleu flying at Satirical Miss. They hit the line. Oh, Garçon Bleu's lunged at Satirical Miss, might have got there. Third, Gull Valley or Atomic Man on the outside, who's run on well, and then Joshua's Pride. They're followed further back in the field by Masked Dancer, who showed pace before weakening. Then Our Missouri, and they're followed by Happy Summer, Blue Music. Windigo showed a lot of pace before weakening from Pearl Peru and Serendipity.